Welcome to Milo's Miles, ladies and gentlemen. So this is the Unicorn. This is a rather nice blaster. This blaster cost me $80 on M416 Gel Blaster. Everybody else in the United States, they're still waiting on pre-order. Well, I'm not a fan of waiting on pre-order for something forever. I do that quite a bit as is, and well, it is what it is. I need content, and that's it. So this blaster costs $80. Now, in the United States, at like Frontline Foam or France Foam Works or Out of Darts, this blaster is $95. On BIU's site and Xanadu Tour's site, this blaster is $99. However, at BIU and Xanadu Toys and M416 Gel Blaster, it's all free shipping to the United States. So that's what you pay. It is what it is. I mean, this is a rather sweet little blaster. It is definitely heavy, though. I will say this. This thing reminds me of a cut-down Valkyrie, though. It's just as short as it is. It's a nice little powerhouse. I mean, this thing is just, wow. It definitely feels good in your hands. It's just a little small for my taste. But then again, I like larger primaries, full-size sniper blasters and things like that. So let's see what your $80 gets you. Okay, you get the blaster itself. You get a 15-round magazine, which is this blaster is talent compatible, so this mag will fit in other blasters. You also get this weird N-Strike stock thing, which goes in the Unicorn. It's supposed to go in like that. I'm not gonna lock mine in because once it's in there, and I really don't want to try to pull it out. And I didn't like this thing to begin with, and I was just considering taking a hacksaw to it anyway. So I was rather glad to see that. You also get the top prime piece if you choose to top prime your blaster, which I'm not going to do. I just no, I don't want to. You also get a couple other bits and bobbles with it. You get a bag full of miscellaneous parts, screws, hex keys, stuff like that. And extra O-rings. Okay? They're trying to tell you something right off the bat. Okay, this blaster has a slotted plunger tube in it. Or at least this version does. They have better plunger tubes now. Or at least you can buy the upgraded plunger tube. The slotted plunger tubes, apparently the O-rings will get caught on the plunger tube. So that's kind of part of the problem. So if you buy this blaster, I do suggest you buy the upgraded plunger tube. The upgraded plunger tube's like maybe $10 or so, which isn't terrible. And you can buy a bigger 1.8 spring too. I saw the spring and stuff like that on M416 a couple days ago. I mean, but this is a rather sweet little blaster. It definitely does feel good in your hands. It does have a nice form factor. It's definitely a CQB man's dream. If you run CQB a lot, this would be a perfect blaster to have. I mean, but then again, our games were basically getting tags at 150 to 175 feet away. So this blaster would be kind of useless in our games. But for like CQB or something like that, or maybe Kane, the Cincinnati Nerf group, or because they play indoors, this would be an awesome blaster to have for that game. I mean, this thing... It's just, wow. It is really nice. It does feel good in your hand. This blaster comes partially assembled. As in you have to slide it over. You have to install the spring and stuff like that, And then it's got a takedown feature here, 2 takedown pins, just like the jet blasters do. Now, I will say this. Aside from that, this blaster has a magazine release on the right-hand side and the safety on the left-hand side. Because there are some people who are lefties. Not many. It's like 10% of the population, I think, or something like that. But I'll tell you what. How about we give a firing demo here? I've got a couple random different types of darts. I've got a couple bamboos. These are the original bamboos, by the way. The old school bamboos. I've got a couple of the new game face darts. And I've got 2 Generation 3 Plus by Worker. I got my chronograph here. I'm going to see what we get. Then I'll give you my final thought. And remember, I'm testing after the scar, ladies and gentlemen. That was 114 FPS. That was 142 FPS. It's not bad. Let's see what the game face starts get. That was 169 FPS on the game face starts. That's impressive. So far, it looks like it loves game face starts. 157 FPS. Again, that was on the game face starts. Now, we're down to the two bamboo darts I have. These are the original bamboos. These aren't the bamboo 2.0s. 129 FPS on the OG bamboo darts. And that was 132 FPS. So this thing likes game face darts and it likes bamboo darts. Okay, so that, but you got to remember, bamboo darts and game face darts are lighter. So, of course, you're going to get greater numbers. So, on an average, I would say maybe about 130 to 140 on normal darts, and then about maybe 150 to 160 on like the game face darts and the bamboo darts, which really isn't bad. I mean, I was kind of surprised at that. I wasn't expecting that, especially a blaster from China, because usually when you get a blaster from China, they put weaker springs in them intentionally. Like I've gotten clones of Zincs and stuff like that that shoot at like 80 FPS. You know, but yet you dump a bigger spring into it and bam, you got a 130, 140 FPS blaster. Yeah, it's like that. But for the price point of $80, this thing's not bad. I mean, I will say this though, everybody in the United States is on pre-order with these things. Okay? Me, I don't like waiting in pre-order. I just can't do it. Especially, you know, with content being the way it is and stuff like that. So, but what I'll do is that, I mean, this thing is just beautiful. Jesus. But what I'll do is I plan on buying some of the upgraded parts for this thing. I also am thinking about buying another one of these too. But I'm going to buy the upgraded plunger tube, the bigger spring, and maybe the barrel. But do I think this blaster is the new meta, as it was called? No, I really don't. I mean, it's a cut down Valkyrie. That's all it is. Nothing more, nothing less. You know, it's definitely not the new meta. But for $80, it's well worth $80. It's well worth $100. Not much more than that, but between $80 and $100, sure. You know, it's definitely worth that price point. It's priced appropriately. I'll put it to you that way. But what I'll do is I'll put a buy link in the description below for M416 gel blaster, and for the United States people, I'll put in a link for Frontline foam. But as I said, you can buy this blaster anywhere. But you know, me, I would. It doesn't matter where you buy it at. To me, it's your money after all. And like I said, I'll put a buy link in the description below. But definitely pick this thing up. This thing is freaking awesome. Until next time, this is Milers Mods signing off.